the one who spins the discus of self-realization becomes a ruler of the globe. And Baba says you cannot become a Sun dynasty king, Suryavanshi Raja, without being a spinner of the discus of self-realization. And Baba says those who don't know how to spin the discus of self-realization have to be taught to do that, because only then can we become the ruler of the globe. Now, what is this spinning of the discus of self-realization? We will talk about it today. And Baba tells us that in Hindi, this spinning of the discus of self-realization is called Swadarshan Chakra Phirana. Now, what is Swadarshan Chakra? Swadarshan means spinning the cycle of your own story. Now, what is the opposite of this Swadarshan? It is Pardarshan. So, what are we technically doing all day? We are doing Pardarshan. So, we are always spinning in our buddhi the story of other souls, the story of how they are behaving, what they are doing, the story of the drama, what are the situations and circumstances that are before us. And if we spin the Pardarshan Chakra always, then the Paristhiti will be more powerful than our Swasthiti. Okay, so Paristhiti means the external situation, and Swasthiti means your internal stage. Now, if you are always thinking about lending your thoughts to the external situations, to the souls out there, to situations and circumstances out there, then one thing you must understand about the law of attention, that wherever attention goes, energy flows and that thing grows. So you are giving power to whatever you are thinking about. And it's not as simple as, okay, I couldn't help it, so I thought about it. But usually, if you notice, we are thinking a lot about things that we don't like, things that make us uncomfortable. But if you are thinking about something, you are giving away your power to it and you are helping it grow. So you are lending your power of attention to something that's making you uncomfortable. And this is why it's very important to understand that if you rotate the Pardarshan Chakra always, then the Paristhiti will be very powerful. So this is why Baba says that if you rotate the Swadarshan Chakra, now Pardarshan Chakra we know how to rotate and we have been doing it for a long time. So we don't need to make any effort for that. It's in our sanskar and we do it very naturally. But Baba says that's Ravan's instrument. Yes, Ravan has also given us some instruments through which we fall. So every time you are using Ravan's instrument, you are depleting your own stage. Now, the opposite of the Pardarshan Chakra is what Baba gives us. So, one thing we have to understand, that this is a gift from Baba. And you have seen in the images of Shri Krishna and in the images of Narayan and in the images of Shri Lakshmi and in the images of Vishnu, that they show the Swadarshan chakra. And mostly in India, as a child, when I used to ask what is this, I was told it is the Sudarshan chakra. But Baba tells us, just like everything, it's a Chinese whispers game. So everything starts from one end and then it gets communicated to the next generation, next, and it loses all meaning. And similarly, Baba tells that it is not Sudarshan chakra, it is a Swadarshan chakra. And the symbol of that Swadarshan chakra is shown like a spinning wheel, and that is held in the hand of Shri Vishnu, Shri Krishna, Shri Narayan, Shri Lakshmi. But Baba tells that that is a symbol, that is a symbolic representation, but that's something that you don't hold in your hand but in your mind. Just like Baba explains that you see the Vishnu, the image of Vishnu or many other deity images are shown to have a lotus in their hands. But Baba says that lotus is the symbol of pure living in a detached and loving manner, just like the lotus. So that lotus symbol is not something you hold in your hand, but it's something that you imbibe in your life, in your conduct. So you live life like a lotus. So if you look at the four alankars or the four adornments of Vishnu, which are the Swadarshan chakra, the Gada, the Padam, and the fourth one is the I forgot. So Shankh, the conch. Yes, so the conch is the symbol for pure speech, and conch means purity of speech. So you have to hold the Shankh in your mouth. So it's a symbol for what is the dharana for your mouth. So every time you speak, your speech has to be Gyan Swarup. Every word you speak should be Gyan Swarup. And similarly, in your mind, you must always keep rotating the Swadarshan chakra. So this is a dharana or an alankar or an adornment for the mind. And then there is a dharana or an alankar for your life, which is the symbol of lotus purity. And then there is another alankar, which is the mace or the gada, and the mace is a symbol of the power to say no. So Baba says right now you need to uphold these four things. So although these symbols are shown in the hands of Shri Vishnu or Shri Krishna or Shri Narayan, Baba says these are the dharanas that you need to have now. And I am the one who gives you the power and understanding of this dharana in Sangam Yuga. But because Sangam Yugi Brahmins are never in their stable stage, they are always fluctuating. So that is why these symbols are shown in the images of our perfect forms. Okay. So this is something. So in that sense, what we understand is there is a Swadarshan chakra that Baba has given us, which we need to hold in our mind and keep rotating it, and that will ensure purity of mind. That will ensure at least three things: purity of mind, second is my swasthiti getting elevated, my inner stage getting elevated, and third is I will become the ruler of the globe according to spinning of this Swadarshan chakra. Now what is the Swadarshan chakra? So Baba has given us the knowledge that I, the soul, am like a full seed, like a complete seed in the soul world. And then when I come onto the stage in Satyug and in Treta Yuga, what am I like? I am like a perfect deity, that one which is absolutely without vices, that one which has all the virtues and all the powers. And I conduct my life inside out for 2 yugas. So I am not attracted to wealth and relationships and body, but the body, wealth and relationships follow me. So the happiness of the body, mind, wealth, it follows me because I am so full inside. And then in the third stage, when we come on to the copper age, so there are two things that happen. One is I change from a deity to a worshipper. But Baba tells us, don't think about yourself as a worshipper because that won't help. You think about yourself as the deity that the worshipper form is worshipping. So in the third stage, Baba says, you are the deity in the temple that everybody is visiting and worshipping. So that's your worship worthy stage. And then fourth is the Brahmin stage. When Baba comes, I change from a Shudra to a Brahmin. So I live in an impure world, but I am a pure Brahmin. And everything about me is according to Srimad, according to the codes of conduct that Baba lays down. And when we think about the Brahmin stage, we do not think about the current Brahmin stage. Yes, current Brahmin stage may be imperfect. But when you spin the Swadarshan chakra, the fourth or the Brahmin stage is your perfect Brahmin stage which you want to think about. The kind of Brahmin you want to be. Yes, are you happy with the kind of Brahmin you are? So yes, we are supposed to be happy, but then we also understand that we are not perfect Brahmins. So when we spin the Swadarshan chakra, the perfect Brahmin stage has to be invoked. A Brahmin that wakes up at 3:30 every day, a Brahmin that meditates, with a lot of love in his heart, a Brahmin that listens to Murli at the regular time, a Brahmin that has a life of remembrance and seva, a Brahmin whose all actions are pure. So that's the fourth stage. And then the fifth stage is that of an angel, which we are transitioning into. So when I change from a Brahmin to an angel, what do I become like? So an angel has a body of light, and an angel is not limited by sense perception. Yes, so an angel is not limited by the body. So you can see more than your eyes can see. You can hear more than your ears can hear. You can hear the heart of every soul, and you are like a perfect conduit between God and this world. And you are such a pure angel that all of God's energy is reaching every soul and every element of nature on this planet through you, because there is no interference that you pose in the dissemination of that energy. You are like this perfect conduit channelizing Baba's love and peace and purity towards every soul. So Baba says that just sit comfortably and spin this Swadarshan chakra. And when I spin the Swadarshan chakra, I start with the Brahmin stage because that's the current stage. So it makes it, I feel it's easier to start with the Brahmin stage. So I always think about, I am a Brahmin right now, and I try to envision my perfect Brahmin stage where my thought, my drishti, my actions, my hearing, my speaking, my give and take, everything is in godly order according to Baba's Srimad. And every action that I perform through body, mind and wealth is pure. So I am a pure Brahmin, and I conduct myself in this old world, but I am like someone who is sitting on a lotus seat, on a seat of purity, and nothing of the old world is tainting me or influencing me or coloring me, and I am doing everything according to Baba's directions. That is the pure Brahmin, and a pure Brahmin's only purpose is remembering Baba and doing seva. And everything that a Brahmin does is seva. Yes, even if you have a thought, that thought is, that thought according to drama is a thought of seva. And if you have that kind of faith in you, and I remember there was this one occasion when I felt like going to some place, and I very seldom I feel like going somewhere, because I never have this thought that I want to go somewhere. And once I had this very powerful thought that I want to visit this one place. And when I went there, then I figured out that they were calling out to some Baba's child and they needed some help. And then I gave what Baba gives us, and then that seva was done. And if you are a Brahmin who has, with the man and buddhi, dedicated your life to Baba and his seva, then everything that you do will be seva. Even if you raise your child, that child is Baba's property. Baba will use that child in future. So if you are a pure Brahmin, nothing that you do, whatever you give your time, thought, energy, body, mind, wealth to, will always bear a fruit which will be useful for Baba and his seva. So Baba says, think about yourself like that Brahmin and envision your purity. Envision your stage of purity while living in this impure world. Just create an image of what a Brahmin who is living in this old world in a lotus seat in purity, what would that translate into reality as? What would be the practical actions of such a Brahmin? And just think about that stage. And you see, just like I told you about the law of attention, so when you pay attention to your perfect stage of a Brahmin, that perfect stage is already within you. Do you understand that? So I, the soul, have a whole recording recorded inside me. So when I am paying attention to my perfect Brahmin form, I am invoking it into reality. And when I am invoking it, then I start becoming a perfect Brahmin. And when I start becoming a perfect Brahmin, then only can I claim full inheritance from Baba. So this is why Baba says, in every aspect of spinning the Swadarshan chakra, there lies this benefit that you will become the master of the globe. Because when you invoke your perfect Brahmin stage also, what it invokes within you is your potential to be a good Brahmin and be eligible for Baba's full inheritance. So this is why this will lead you to become a Chakradhari Raja. And then as I think about my perfect stage, then I next think about my transition into this body of an angel. And when I am an angel, my position is very elevated. Yes, and you see, when you are in higher consciousness, in angel consciousness, then you can see all the souls of the world in front of you always. Just like, in lower consciousness, in limited consciousness, you see those who are physically around you. Similarly, when you are in higher consciousness, in your angelic consciousness, you feel like you're sitting on the globe and every soul of the world is in front of you. And all the elements of nature are right before you. And above you, there's Baba. And Baba is sending all his energy to you because you are this perfect instrument, channelizing his energy towards all the elements of nature and all souls. And you being the perfect instrument, you are not causing any interference in this channelizing of energy, and you are giving, with your open heart, you are giving Baba's peace and purity and love and joy to every soul. So this is how we practice being an angel. And you can hear the heart of every soul. And what is the heart of every soul saying? The heart of every soul is saying, give me peace, give me happiness. Yes, so you are able to listen to the cries and to the heart of every soul, and you are able to be that instrument who is constantly giving. And then from there, you leave the angelic body, and where do you go? To the soul world with Baba. And in the soul world, you're sitting before Baba, and Baba is the ocean of peace, and you are a perfect point of peace. And you are like a seed which needs nothing and has everything. And it is a stage where there is no need, no thought. You don't create any thought of I need this, I want this. And you are absolutely thoughtless, and you're sitting in your stage of fulfillment. And there is Baba before you, and you feel that you are in your home with your Baba in your full stage. There's nothing to do, nothing to ask, and it's a complete stage of stability and inner fulfillment. And then you come down as a Satyugi deity. And when you come down as a Satyugi deity, then what are you like? You are full of divine virtues. You are full of the power of love. You are full of the power to harmonize with every soul and every element of nature on the planet. And Baba says that in that Satyugi stage, you see how effortlessly, yes, you operate with the body, with relationships, and with the work that you do as a deity. It is effortless, and it's a world of harmony and happiness. And you live in that world where everything is so synchronized that your thoughts can move things, and even nature responds to your thoughts. So you think about that power within you to harmonize with everyone. And do you believe that you have the power to harmonize with everyone and everything with your thoughts? Do you think that if you think about it, it will work? I'll tell you one thing. Even if you want to operate with thoughts right now, you can. But we don't have that kind of conviction in the power of thought. Yes, and that's why whenever there is a situation to be dealt with, or there is work to be done, we don't use the power of thought. We use the power of words, we use the power of force, we use the power of your anger, we use many other things to or we use the power of we apply extra negative power to do everything in this world. But if you just experimented with it, doing things with your thought is still possible. It's not like you can't do it. But we think that we will use thought power only when we don't have any other power. But in Satyug, you understand that you don't need to use any other power. Everything will get done with thought power and the power of purity. So Baba says that just envision yourself in a world where the power of love, the power of purity, the power of thought gets everything done. Yes, so how do you make one soul cooperate with you in Satyug? You don't use the power of relationship. You don't have to tell them, you are my father, you're my mother, you're my child, you're my sister, you're my brother, why don't you do this for me? So there is natural love in you, and that love binds you to every soul. It is not that you have to be binded with blood relationship, but the relationship of love connects every soul. So just envision yourself in a world where everything gets done through the power of purity, love and peace and thought. And in that world, the kind of fullness you have within that reflects outside and gets everything done is something to envision and invoke from inside. So that power you have right now, the power to be so peaceful, so loveful, so happy, so pure, so straight in your thinking and so clear in your thinking, that everything gets done through these powers. So just reflect on this stage where you are in your perfect deity powerful stage. And then the other one is the worship worthy stage. Now you think about, so you see, when we are in Satyug and Treta Yuga, then there is no system and custom of worship. So we are ourselves deities, and there are no scriptures, there are no temples, there is no paraphernalia of worship. There is no concept of bhakti in the Satyug and Treta Yuga. Now when the Copper Age comes and the soul has lost its half power, so you remember the course that in Satyug we are 16 celestial degrees full, and by the time we reach the Copper Age, we are 8 celestial degrees full. Yes, so Art Kala. And when we are half as powerful as we originally are, at that time we start using material power and we start using the power of vices. Yes, so we start using, so matter and vices, they start controlling the soul, because the soul has lost its power and it doesn't know how to refill it. So you start depending on matter and vices, and Ravan gives it like a gift and we start using it. And when that happens, we experience sorrow. And when we experience sorrow because of our own karma, so when we do karma under the influence of vices and under the influence of matter, then we start experiencing sorrow. And when we experience sorrow, then these temples are created. Then bhakti starts. Now, how are the temples created? Do you ever think, how did the first person who created a deity image create it? So where did that deity image come from? So Baba tells us the secret that when you children in this Sangam Yuga, when you reach your full stage, yes, when you reach your complete Brahmin stage, you will become like an image of a deity. So you will become a complete giver in that full stage. And those bhagats who will see that image, those bhagats who will see that living image of a giver soul in this end of Sangam Yuga, they will carry that memory, and when the copper age comes, that bhagat will build a temple, and with that memory he will create the image of a deity. And when he creates that image of a deity, what does he create? And it is magical how they create such beautiful images. And in that image, you see, they will show many alankars, they will show in the eyes a balance of love and law. And you see, those eyes are such that, anybody who is a papi will feel scared with those eyes, and anybody who holds love in their heart will feel those eyes are very loving. So Baba says, you are that worship worthy deity in the temple, and just think about yourself like that so many souls are visiting you and sitting in front of you, complaining, criticizing. And you see, many bhagats, when they become very desperate, they only complain to God. Yes, so in front of deities also they cry, they complain. And what are you doing in the face of all of this? You are sitting in the position of an absolute witness who doesn't get affected by any of their behaviors, and you are just giving them whatever their heart needs, not what they want, but what they need actually. So you see, when a person visits a temple, maybe they think that I need wealth, I need property, I need this, I need relationships. But you know that they don't need all of this. They need knowledge, purity, peace, and you keep giving that to them. And Baba tells us that when you envision yourself in this stage, then your quality of being an absolute witness in the face of every soul playing their part, and your quality of being an absolute giver of virtues, of knowledge, of powers in the face of they asking for whatever they think they need, this quality gets invoked. And when you invoke this quality in the present time, then this quality will help you become a ruler of the globe. And then again you see, again the chakra is rotating, and again you become a Brahmin, a Farishta, and a seed stage soul, then a Satyugi deity and a worship worthy deity in temples. So Baba says, keep spinning this cycle always. And then what happens is, when you keep rotating this cycle, you also start having a feeling that my Satyugi stage is very near. Because you see, when you go up and down in a Ferris wheel, yes, you used to visit fairs when you were little, and in those fairs, in those melas, there were these giant wheels rotating. And when you climbed a giant wheel, a Ferris wheel, what happened is, when you're coming down, you're thinking about going up, and when you are going up, you're thinking about coming down. Similarly, this is also like a chakra, and when you keep rotating this chakra in your mind, then when you are thinking about the fact that you are a Brahmin now, you already are thinking about the next stage, that I am going to be a deity. So Baba says this also kind of invokes that faith in you, that deep faith in you, that my next stage is a deity. And with that conviction you start, and with the rotation of the Swadarshan chakra, you start invoking all those qualities in you, and you start getting closer to your Satyugi stage and Satyug. Okay. Om Shanti.